All right, we're going to go ahead now and do our leaders forum, which is basically a long version of combination of table topics and we'll also prepared speech. A lot of discussion time. Tonight we'll be focusing on the topic of Toastimonials, and we're very fortunate that our District 11's Club Growth Director Dave Parnan is here. And this is something that he is really big into. So we're going to give him a chance to share with us his thoughts, and then we'll probably have a chance to actually do some practice on this concept of Toastimonials. So at this time, Dave Parnan, Toastimonials, Club Growth Director for District 11, Dave Parnan. And Dave, you're muted.
How's this?
Better.
Okay, I've got a mute button on my headset. Sorry. The Toastimonials is a concept that I brought back, or you might say appropriated, or some might even say stole from the Region 6 training that we had about a month ago. There is another district, I don't recall which one, it's in the Washington, D.C. area, that has been using the concept of Toastimonials. Toastimonials isn't a big thing. It's more of a grassroots thing, although the grassroots can be organized. The whole idea is that I have people that I am connected with on, say, LinkedIn or maybe Facebook. You might be connected with people on Instagram. Someone else might be connected with people on Twitter, but we have our own local groups that we're connected with. And of these local groups, how many people are in Toastmasters in addition to ourselves? Maybe a couple, maybe a little bit more than a couple that aren't in Toastmasters. So the idea is to make a short video. Think of it as like a table topic, if you would. 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. Don't go much more beyond that. It's not a prepared speech. It's just a short video of you saying how you have benefited from Toastmasters, whether it's being able to think on your feet or to organize your thoughts into a prepared speech. It could be different for me than what it is for you. And the form that I post my video in could be different than the form that you post yours in. The idea is just to get the word out. And it's not to say you only have to do one. I might have benefited from Toastmasters in multiple ways. It's not to say that I can't make multiple videos, although I wouldn't do them all at once. I would probably do a video on one topic 1 week, and then maybe a week or two later, do a video on another topic. Keep the message moving so that people hear it and they might forget about it today, but in 2 weeks when they hear about it, they might think, that's right, he talked about that before. And then when they hear it 2 weeks beyond that, they might think there's something to it. And they might ask you questions about it, like, how long have you been in Toastmasters? Did you really learn to do this? You got better at thinking on your feet? You got better at organizing your thoughts? So it's a marketing campaign aimed at those around you, people you know. It's not for the general public, although somebody might share your video to the people that they're connected with. So, but the organizational part of it isn't on, we all need to make videos together. You make your own video, but it's getting the people in your club, in your area, in your division, and then maybe throughout the entire district to do it, to encourage people. Maybe you could have a competition. Maybe you could share success stories. When I talked about table topics, we had 2 visitors that week. We hadn't had visitors for the past month. Something about table topics got people interested. Or humorous speeches or speech contests. It could be different. You could have seasonal Toastimonials. But the idea is to connect with the people that you already know, to tell them the benefits that you have received and through the things that you have done in Toastmasters. So, in essence, that is what a Toastimonial is. You're standing on your little platform talking to your small crowd to get the word out. And maybe today, maybe you might have success where I didn't. Or maybe we can share ideas of the people who did bring in visitors, what worked for them, and maybe we could take those and apply them to our own videos to build on that success. So, not a complete speech, but that is what a Toastimonial is all about. Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you, Dave, for sharing that. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right in with a question as I heard you, and that is about the vehicle, the way this is delivered. I'm assuming that you could deliver this, you could do it not just by posting it somewhere on a social media site, but for example, if you wanted to make a recording and send it, for example, email it to a certain group of people. Doesn't matter how this is delivered in terms of getting out to people. As long as it's a recording, I'm assuming that's the only thing. Is that right?
Email would work. The way I heard the concept was more along the lines of in social media, because in social
Right.
media, you can share it as opposed to just forwarding an email on. And there might be a picture associated with it or comments that people said like, hey, I didn't know you were in Toastmasters, or how long have you been doing that? And things like that. Something that prompts discussion that people can read, and maybe that sparks a question for them as well.
Let me explain what we're doing now. If you want, we can take a few minutes for all of us as audience members. If you have a comment or you have a question about this whole thing, we can take a few minutes for doing that. We can just do it like in table topics. If you're responding 1 and 2 minutes per response or question to keep us sort of in track for time. But let's take a few minutes if anyone has any questions or comments to expand upon what Dave's just shared. We can take some time for that.
Dave, what was the genesis for this particular project?
Oh, they probably told me, but I've slept since then, and it's gonna. But I do believe it was just trying to come up with new ideas to spur interest and attract people to club meetings. So it wasn't. It was something different than open houses, something different than placing ads in or on a flyer or things like that. It was just something new with people that already had a platform.
So this is somewhat tying into like LinkedIn and those kind of venues as well.
Right. And you could create, I mean, if you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account. It's all part of your Gmail address. You could take the video on your phone of you standing in your backyard, giving your short message, upload it to YouTube, take the link for that video off of YouTube, drop it in LinkedIn. You can drop it in Facebook, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be hard. We all have smartphones these days, it seems. So it's so we have the recording equipment and we have the means to upload it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Videos are always best if you have a cat or a dog in your video.
Thank you for the talk, Dave. I have a quick question. So I'm really interested in this topic, and I want to know some of your tips or strategies for the volunteers who are willing to share their testimonials. What are your tips for them to reduce the barriers to give the 1 or 2 minute video? Some people might concern about time or the perfectness of their sharing. So what are some strategies?
Well, the timing is, like I said, is short. And that's so that people, if you're giving a 20-minute speech about the benefits of Toastmasters, a lot of people are going to tune out after a couple minutes. Or if they're a really good friend, they might give you 5 to 10 minutes. But if it's a 20-minute speech, then you're probably going to lose them. And you can keep the message simple. You can write it like you would a normal speech. You can practice it like you would a normal speech. You just keep it short, to the point. And if you have a longer message, break it up. Do multiple videos. It's like I said, if they saw you 1 week, and a week or 2 later, they'll see you again, and you can cover a different topic. They might go back and watch your first one then. It's a nice thing about YouTube and social media. It lives forever until you delete it. So
Thank you for sharing. I love the idea of building episodes on that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Francis, go ahead.
You're going with another question. You go first, Sam. I have a couple ready. So.
You go ahead, Francisco.
Okay. Oh, not you, me. Hold on. Okay, I'm playing with the spotlight. Okay. I like it. This is what I like about being the host. So, Dave, I really like and I really like the answer from Junchi about building episodes. Think of it as a serial. Definitely, we would like to explain and go on your phrase about it lives forever. What's your take? Because to me, they bind all these channels together. What's your take on hashtags? Can you elaborate a little bit on how we can make it, if you will, ricochet or reverberate or bounce around based on a hashtag? What do you think about those blue little, things that, they are everywhere. They're still a little bit hard to explain. How would you apply it to this project?
to be honest, I'm not a hashtag expert. I believe it's a form of indexing if you want to search for something. So if we had a common hashtag like hashtag Toastimonial D11, or if your club was doing it, you could say hashtag Toastimonial Wall Street Speakeasy. That's a club I belong to. As long as it's something that everybody agrees to, you could call it ABC 123, although I'm willing to bet that that's probably taken. So it's as long as it's relevant, as long as it says what it is. So if somebody was searching for Toastmasters Toastimonial, you could probably find something from another district right now if you just did a search.
Okay. And I'm glad that you came, and I'm glad that Junchi's here, Sam and Laura. Here's a bit of a reveal. We put this session together when you brought this up at the last deck meeting. What is it, a month and a half, almost 2 months ago? In the meanwhile, and this goes back to Joe's question, the district set up a team. One of the team members is here. She was actually the lucky one that was close to a server that allowed us to set it up. was one of those tech stories. We're trying to set up the LinkedIn page. Long story short, Junchi and Patricia and Jessica and Jerry and myself, we've been trying to post in LinkedIn. So your explanation about, record a video, load it to YouTube or directly to the app. To me, the hashtag is definitely the glue that will make it really keep it connected. You talked about an incentive and competition. I don't know if we're gonna make a Twitter trend, but I know, for example, Toastimonials is open, the plural with yes. I haven't looked for Toastimonial. You mentioned a district in Washington. I found out, again, illustrating on the research of the topic, that district, I believe 52 in LA, it has an incentive. Whoever posts a testimonial, 45 seconds. See the parallel now with a TV ad. I mean, and the fact is, you said to write them down. A TV ad, 45 seconds, I get the most likes. It's going to get some sort of an incentive on his spiff. I thought that was super cool. So to me, the one incentive is to share it and that people see it on, like, for example, on the Facebook public page, that they share it again, like you said, so that, our friends and all that connect. Oh, Francisco belongs to that district. So Junchi's here. We actually have an invitation. By the way, Junchi, I don't know if you saw it. We're not connected on Facebook to go to another session on the topic after this one. But I feel that the time is right. Once we get through the contest and all those things, to support the efforts and get those episodes recorded. The hashtags, do you have any that you could suggest that the district has been working on that we can post on the chat that you would like to suggest for us to start using, by the way?
Hashtags or testimonials?
Yeah, no, hashtags.
Gene, Scott and I have briefly kicked around some, but I think we were probably going to defer to the marketing team that you're on to have the recommendations there.
Okay, I have some. Okay, I found them for everyone. Everyone who wants to start doing it here at Lot, put this back to gallery view. I'm gonna put them on the chat. These ones went through the trio and were sent to the social media team. D11 Toastmasters, Leaders Are Made D11, Great Speakers D11, and of course Toastimonials. Let's just start using them. By the way, any of you who are on LinkedIn, the team is trying to publish or share something every day. One of the easiest things to share is the articles from Toastmasters International that's already curated. So if you're on LinkedIn, please join us there. A like and a comment goes a long way in raising the visibility, and also the Facebook public page. I assume if I ask you think you're on Facebook, and you are. There's a Facebook private group. There's 600 members in there, which is a very large proportion. But much like Leadership Outreach and other clubs that have a public page, the district has one. So to extend again on what Dave has been saying and connect why we're doing this tonight, the invitation is up there to start those episodes and tie them together through some of those hashtags. We will test them out, right, Dave? We'll see how they bind together. You had made suggestions to, does anybody here use TikTok, by the way? No, not yet. Okay.
I think we're too old. My kids.
I stopped at Snapchat. I went as far as Instagram. So I know I'm going to put, oh, very important, a tip. If you decide to go on Instagram, it can't be more than 1 minute. So to me, that's like a big challenge to do it like District 52 and go closer to a minute.
Yeah, also the different platforms, depending what audience you want to reach. LinkedIn, you get more of a professional audience. If you want to maybe start a club for the younger crowd, maybe people who are still in college, then maybe TikTok is the platform you want to post to.
Okay. Junchi, which ones do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't have a TikTok. I'm also old for that.
You have
But
Instagram?
I have Instagram. I
Okay.
also have Clubhouse, if anyone is interested.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Can you tell us a little bit more about Clubhouse, please?
Yeah, Clubhouse is all about audio, but it can link to Instagram with a link and also Twitter. So Clubhouse allows you to build a personal account, but you can define yourself as a PhD student, a Toastmaster, a whatever like tag for yourself in your bio. And when you join, there are not only clubs but also groups and rooms on Clubhouse. So
Okay.
you join some rooms, some people have the room tag talking about how to be a better moderator, and that's something relevant to Toastmasters and public speaking and also leadership. So that's something we can definitely look into. And second, for the club, some clubs have like a talk club on Clubhouse, and also public speaking or conference talks for particular groups. So if we want to build a club there, it has to meet a certain requirement, which means we have to constantly organize the meetings or rooms on Clubhouse, and we have a constant audience there. So it can be a long-term goal, not short-term. But in the short term, we probably can build a few rooms, just like Toastmaster meetings, like every week or every other week there. So we have some themed topics to talk about and also encourage people to know more about Toastmasters. So I think that's something we can consider, because I labeled myself there as a Toastmaster, and a lot of amazing people in business, in technology, they are good speakers there, and they might also bring some light for Toastmasters from the other side.
Great. So think about it. Maybe we can start a Toastimonials room. I don't know. We're on topic, so it's a thought.
Yeah, it can
and
be.
Question on Clubhouse, and they also index using hashtags. Do they also use hashtags in Clubhouse or no?
Only in your bio. So
okay.
Clubhouse is an instant way. It's even faster than podcast, because it just fly by. You cannot record, if you want to record, you can, but on another separate device. But the purpose of that is for instant people to meet new people. It's like audio version TikTok, but or also audio version of LinkedIn, because a lot of people go to Clubhouse not for entertainment but for business, for networking.
Excellent. Wow. Awesome. I hadn't heard of it. I saw a comment, by the way, on the Toastmasters International public group. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So I still have a few invites. Right now the Clubhouse only works for iPhone users, but if you have an iPhone and want to be part of it, just let me know, and I can invite you to be on the Clubhouse. Just post
Save us one. Save us one.
Cool.
Save us one. Okay.
Yeah, you can just let me know your phone number and I can add you on.
Great. Awesome. We touched on something. I believe, Dave, you had brought up Reddit, Clubhouse, TikTok, of course, Snapchat. I mean, the word is out there. So
there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. So we've gone perfect. It's been almost half an hour on the topic. Sam, do you think we could save this and now maybe try to do each a short testimonial as a sample? What do you think? We had decided to practice tonight, right?
Actually, I was going to go so I actually was going to make a suggestion for myself as a challenge, but yes, we could take a chance practice. That's a very good idea. Sure.
Okay, the only favor I ask is then wait for my signal, and of course, watch for the recording. This is totally voluntarily, as Dave said, it's a 2-minute. So I'm gonna stop this main recording now. Okay, this will be on the cloud. I'm learning how to send it. I'll put a password on it as soon as I hang up. Stopping now.